All right, so this should be a fun divisional battle here between the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons 0-4. Carolina Panthers on a 2-game winning streak with Teddy Bridgewater 2-2. Appears that all they needed to do to start winning was to let Christian McCaffrey go on IR. Who knew? It has nothing to do with that. It's just been the matchups. But that being said, 54-point over-under in this one. Vegas is expecting a barn burner, and I agree with them. The Falcons' defense has been probably, at least in terms of the amount of fantasy points they've allowed, in total, the worst. They've given up the most points to quarterbacks and tight ends. They've given up the 10th most points to running backs and wide receivers. On the Panthers side, they've actually been pretty good on every spot except for the running backs, but I still feel like that is a bit skewed just based on the matchups that they've had thus far. This should be a better game to see how good their defense actually is. You know, going into this season, we are expecting them to have one of the worst secondaries. They've definitely overperformed from where we've expected them. We'll see how good they are this week when they play against Matt Ryan. Now, at this point, it's looking like Julio Jones is probably going to be out, probably going to rest another week on that hamstring, but I would venture to guess everyone else plays here, including Calvin Ridley. Hopefully you can get over the fact that he gave you a goose egg on Monday because he's going to go off against the Panthers this week. And in terms of who we're starting, pretty much everyone. We can play Teddy Bridgewater this week. Hey, if you need a spot start playing against the defense that allows the most points to fantasy quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater is a good stream. Mike Davis with Reggie Bonifant now on IR. Mike Davis has been a running back one ever since Christian McCaffrey went out, and it looks like he's going to continue to do that heading into this week, so you're playing him. You can play both Robby Anderson and DJ Moore on this one. I know you've probably been disappointed with DJ Moore's stats, but this is a really good week to get things right for him, playing against that decimated secondary for the Atlanta Falcons. It looks like they're going to get some pieces back, but I don't think it's nearly enough for them to actually do anything to stop these guys. Look for both Anderson and Moore to have a good game. Curtis Samuel and Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas did have the score last week, but he still had just not looked great out there on the football field. Curtis Samuel is not getting nearly the touches that you'd like. Mike Davis has been stealing a lot of the work that you'd like to see Curtis Samuel get. So I'm not going to play either of those guys. We're not going to play the Panthers defense against the Falcons at home. Matt Ryan, I know he's had 2 down weeks, but I think he's a really good play this week. Todd Gurley playing against the defense that it would only stop Kenyon Drake and no one else. Todd Gurley, this will probably be the last week that you can use him. Todd Gurley is on my sell list right now. I'm looking to try to sell high on him. That being said, if you're not finding like a great deal out there, just wait one more week. Hopefully Todd Gurley doesn't get hurt, but he's going to go off against the Panthers, assuming he plays the full game. And then you can sell even higher. So Gurley's on my sell list, but if you want to wait another week, you definitely can do that. It's not like this is your last chance. Some guys were like that. We were advocating to sell high on Ridley last week. Now we're saying buy back in. If the person that had him is panicking about the Falcons going 0-4, you can probably get him a little bit cheaper than you were able to last week, that's for sure. And I think Ridley is still going to be a top 10 wide receiver going forward. Russell Gage, if Julio Jones is out, is a good start. And then Hayden Hurst, another good start here, has been pretty adequate average at the tight end position, through all 4 weeks thus far. But going against the Panthers without Julio Jones, I think he definitely has a chance to put up a decent game here. Brian Hill, we're not going to be playing him until Todd Gurley shows any signs of seeing more touches. He did get that 1 touchdown in week 3, but nothing to really go off of there in terms of consistent volume. And then Olamide Zaccheaus, I know he had the most targets last week, but that's not going to continue. The Falcons defense here, I think this will be a high-scoring game overall. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that the Falcons are going to get their first win. Yay, it's going to be 34-31 will be the final score. Definitely a game you want to be stacking in DFS. Really like both sides here, and especially if people are pivoting off of the Falcons, it's a good time to get back in on them because I think it's going to be a really good fantasy day.